Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Monday, August 11th, about 5:15. Markets are closed, and this is our daily recap video for the Roundhill weekly paying funds. The first three are 0DTE covered call strategies, QDTE off the NASDAQ 100, XDTE off the S&P 500, and RDTE off the Russell 2000. The last one we cover recently added YBTC. It's a Bitcoin covered call strategy, still similar to the other three. They pay weekly dividends. Small difference, they declare and announce, or they declare and pay out 1 day sooner in the week. Reminder, I'm on X at ETF_inspector1. I post, especially in relation to this video, the daily trades, the 0DTE trades made in each fund, in case you want to follow along and see how your holdings are doing, or in case you are looking to trade along with it. And then I post other stuff all related to the channel, the YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get right into it. If you didn't hear from some of the previous videos, I am on vacation, so I'm going to look to move through the videos pretty quick and get back to having some fun. So if you noticed on the thumbnail, right, QDTE and XDTE were both in the red, and RDTE and YBTC both in the green or positive. In most cases, the fund beat the underlying. So the NASDAQ 100 was down 0.36%, where QDTE was only down 0.21%. SPX was down 0.25%, where XDTE was only down 0.14%. The Russell 2000 down a little bit, 0.09%, but RDTE was actually positive, had an increase of 0.14%. And then finally, YBTC covers, it's actually got a combination of CBTX and IBIT. CBTX was up about 2.25%. IBIT was up nearly the same, 2.28%. YBTC was not able to keep up with them, and that is because they're selling calls on those two, and their prices ran beyond the calls. So at that point, they're getting dollar for dollar more expensive to close out as they're increasing in value. So they get kind of capped. So they were only up 1.25%. Still not a bad day to make 1.25% in a day. So let's go ahead and take a look at how all their trades made out. Starting off with QDTE, this morning they sold 367 calls at 23,680, collecting $26.84 a share, almost $1 million. And let's see where NDX ended. 23,526. That's well below 23,680. So it doesn't cost anything to close it out. And today's profit, $985,000. They got to keep all of it. All right. On Friday's video, we went over the guesstimate for this coming week. I said basically my guess for QDTE is 24 cents. Not going to go real deep into it. No changes in the holdings. Obviously, after today, they will all increase in value. So when I download it tomorrow morning, tomorrow's video, these will all be higher values because all these deep in the money calls just became more valuable with the NASDAQ. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other fund. NASDAQ went down a little bit, so these will all go down slightly, 1/3% or so. Sorry about that. That's for later on in the video when we get to YBTC. $862 million assets under management. No change on Friday. There was still 24,030,000 shares. And basically NAV's looking a little higher than our closing price today because the NAV is based off of the holdings that came out before the day started. So once the holdings come out tomorrow, it'll be a whole lot closer. They declare in 2 days. And so on Wednesday, we will find out what they're paying. Next, XDTE. They sold calls, 651 of them, at a strike price of $64.05 for the SPX, collecting $5.18 per share, $337,000. SPX closed at 63.7345, below that 64.05. Didn't have to pay anything to settle it, and got to keep the full 337,000 as profit. Again, 2 days till declaration. My guesstimate and the video with the explanation on Friday would tell you 25.5 cents is my guess. Not really straying too far off from what they've been paying. $415 million assets under management, 9,285,000 shares. Again, you got a this one's getting odd, so I'm guessing we're gonna get a change in shares. Well, we already had a change in shares from Friday morning to this morning. So on Friday there was an increase. So we went from 6 contracts where we had deep in the money calls purchased at 6.37 for September 18th of next year. They added 5 more, bringing it up to 11. Generally, we don't get the NAV and the fund price that far off, especially with a very minor change. So my guess is tomorrow we're going to see a different outstanding share number on that one. But we'll see a slight decrease in the value of everything. Not really anything major or earth-shattering. Okay, moving on to RDTE. They sold 642 calls on the Russell 2000 at 22.40. Closed at 22.1651, below 22.40. So they collected $1.69 per share, $108,000. Since it stayed below their price, they expired worthless. They didn't have to pay anything to settle it, so they kept the full $108,000 as profit. All right, RDTE's been paying out the highest annual yield percentage out of the 3, so they're they've been in the 35 to 40-ish range for a little while now. And I actually estimated that they would be, maybe my estimate might be a little high, but I said 29.5 cents, but they did make 31.7 cents, so I don't think I'm being too high on that one. But their average over the last month's been about 28. There's 140 million as assets under management, 4,250,000 outstanding shares. Really hardly any change in the fund today. For some reason, Excel takes forever for these funds to update at the end of the day. So you'll notice that says 33.15, whereas RDTE closed at 33.19. So these last couple cents take forever. It really doesn't affect making this video, so that's why I go ahead and move forward. I just wait to see the indexes settle out so I know how much we got to pay to close out trades if needed. Alright, so there will be very slight change in the values tomorrow. RDTE was able to go up because with the Russell 2000 only going down very small amount, and with them selling and collecting premium that they got to keep as profit, that's how they were able to go up while the Russell went down slightly. Alright, and last but not least, YBTC. They do not give us access to their trades yet. As you can see, like if we go on the Russell's page, we scroll down, intraday trades, we can download them and look at what they did. YBTC, not so much. So I've asked them, I've talked to them, maybe we can get them to start giving us some info. But we do know a little bit because obviously they had to swap these out. Last week, their calls were sold ending August 8th, right? So obviously they expired. They had to close them out and sell new ones. So now they sold these new ones. They chose $27.92.44 as their strike price for this Friday on CBTX, and $67 as their strike price for this Friday on IBIT. That's up $1 from what they were selling last week on IBIT, and it's up about $35 from what they were selling last week for CBTX. I think they had 2757 sold. So, but in both cases, I forgot to update this before I started the video. The calls that they sold expiring on Friday have already gone into the money on the very first day of trading. So on CBTX, they're 0.86% in the money, and on IBIT, they are 0.95% in the money. The only change in holdings was a small decrease, so maybe not sure why, right? Because our outstanding shares increased by 140,000 to 5.7 million, but we were trading 690 contracts. We had 690 synthetic positions at this CBTX 2783.43, and we were selling 690 calls off of that, and now this week it's starting out 4 less at 686. But with the new money that came in on Friday, we might see new numbers over here, bringing that back up one way or another. With them not giving us trade information, it's kind of difficult for me to make a guesstimate or multiple levels of a guesstimate. So really what I did was kind of went through, took averages of what they've been paying out, looked at how the fund performed, how the underlyings performed, and how they've paid out recent ranges. And I kind of just gave you a guesstimate range, 48 to 50 cents. So we will find out tomorrow, August 12th, what YBTC will be paying out, and they declare on Tuesday and pay on Thursday. But it was a good day overall. Again, the YBTC fund has not updated yet, because we already said it was up about 1.25%. So it just takes a long time for some reason for these through Excel to finish out. But all right, I guess last thing we can hit on, and this actually, let's see, what's that based off of? So this is based off. So tomorrow morning, these will be increased, right? CBTX, these calls went from being 1.1% in the money to, and then they went up another 2.25%, and then same thing, these IBIT calls. Now that doesn't make sense. Okay, so they were in the money, but I guess the put just was demanding more premium. But now with the 2.25% increase, this will definitely swing to the positive, so that both the CBTX and the IBIT synthetics will have value to them, which is nice, because then when we close them out, that gets added to the trading income. But on the other side, these calls that we've got, I don't know how active they are, right? Because they don't give us access to their trades. So I'm not sure if they're going to try and close these out and sell new ones to uncap these calls and let them run in value, or if they just let them run to the end of the week and see what happens. So I guess we'll find out when we download the holdings in the morning if we still have these same strikes or if we have new ones. So okay, that's all I got for you. Have a great day. Watch out for the post tomorrow. I might not be able to always do these. I was able to, because we went to the water park today. We didn't leave the house till almost 10, so I was able to download the trade around 9:45 and get this out. It might not look like this, but if I'm going to the beach or something, I'm not taking my computer, but I'll still post. It'll just be wording written in an X post. All right, have a good night. See you in tomorrow's trading video.